Thank you. Like you said, I'm Lindsey. I'm part of environmental horticulture. I focus on urban turfgrass management. I'm just going to briefly go over some of the projects that I have that I think are relatable to the CLU kind of mission. The first one is compost top dressing. So Eben kind of alluded to this project earlier. So we see a lot of benefits with compost incorporation, but do we get the same soil benefits, the same turf benefits just from top dressing these? Because it's not always feasible to go into a landscape, rip out the sod, redo the soil, and then put sod back on. So can we get the same benefits by applying it over the top? You can see here our plots, we have different compost treatments. And so we have compost just once a year. We have compost once a year with fertilizer, compost twice, compost and fertilize twice a year, and then just kind of the standard fertilize twice a year. And then we have different irrigation rates. We have 100%. This is what our standard is, just to see does this compost, can it substitute as a fertilizer? And then we also look at reductions in irrigation to see, can we also reduce water by putting this compost into the system? And so we're through 1 year to study. And so some of that irrigation data, we're still kind of waiting on to tease out what's going on, but we're seeing some pretty strong indications of turf quality. So if we're looking at this picture on the left side, you can kind of see it's a paler green. Some of the plots are actually starting to fail. On the right side, we get more plots with some dark green color. The right side mainly consisted of treatments that had 2 applications of something. So that could be 2 applications of compost alone, 2 applications of fertilizer, or 2 applications of the combination of the 2. So this suggests that an application of compost at the rates we were using could substitute a fertilizer application. And so we do need to quantify the nutrients that we're putting out with compost. And it seems like we can either kind of substitute or at least reduce synthetic fertilizer use if you are going to have a compost top dressing event. So we're in year 2, so hopefully with this dry period right now, we'll see some more of the irrigation differences, but we did see some of the nutrition side of that compost. Another project I have going on is actually looking at the mineralization rates of this compost. So with Evan, he had some projections about what might happen in the environment. I got funding to actually look at this. And so we have a variety of different combination of treatments, soil incorporation, different rates, top dressing events, looking at biosolids, synthetic fertilizer. And there's 3 different factions of this. There's a lab portion where we do all the kind of nitrogen mineralization rates. Then we have a greenhouse portion. We'll look at nitrogen leaching, so see what's actually coming out of this system. And then we have the field study to actually quantify the turf grass quality, how long do these treatments last, and try to get to a more holistic approach when we're going to start incorporate these practices. And then the last one, this one kind of ties off the back of some of Evan's work too, about looking at lawn ages or landscape ages, and how can that affect our management? Can we actually make any changes based on how old the landscape is? And so I did this study preliminary at Lakewood Ranch, and then with the results I got, I am now expanding it to 3 locations in Florida. And so this is just looking at soil organic matter. You can see here, after about 5 years to 10 years is when we see a bigger jump in organic matter, and then it kind of stabilizes after that. And so that's the organic matter, and we're trying to correlate something that's going to relate to nutrient release. And so these are 2 different graphs, one looking at microbial activity, and then also looking at nitrogen mineralization rates itself. So you can still see around that 5 to 10 year range is where we start to see the microbes being more active, turning over more nutrients, with the goal of being able to actually reduce nitrogen inputs in older landscapes. So this is the initial part of the study, but we got good results, and so now we're doing a more statewide study. And so with that, feel free to reach out at any time. I'm always happy to answer questions, so thank you.